So, you are a smart and successful woman. You have done the work on yourself, on your career, on your mindset. But love, it still feels off. You either attract men who admire but don't take the lead, or you carry the entire emotional weight of your relationship, or you feel like you have to choose between being powerful and being loved. So, what's happening? Let's be brutally honest. Some of the things that make you respected in your career are making you less magnetic in your personal life, in your relationships. Not because you are wrong, because you are stuck in an energy that doesn't attract what your heart really wants. If you are new here, I'm Jaslyn, a tech professional with over a decade of experience, Women in Tech Leadership Award winner 2025, and the creator of the Goddess Energy series, where we talk about how ambitious women can lead, love, and live in full alignment with their feminine power. So, in today's episode, I want to walk you through 6 patterns that screw up relationships for women and share how exactly you can shift those without losing your ambition or your edge. Let's begin. We'll start with the most common pattern I see in high achieving women: overleading. You are leading the relationship like a project. You suggest the first few dates, you message first, you check in, you want clarity, so you just ask. You are the HR and the CEO of your relationship. But leadership in love is not the same thing as leadership at work. If you are leading everything, there is no space for him to pursue. So, how can you shift to fix this? You can use open loop invitations like, "I love to see you," or "I had a great time. Looking forward to what you plan next." Resist the follow up. After a great date, don't text, "Did you get home safe?" Let him do that. Let him take the reins. Practice energy reversal. If you initiated last, pause and wait for him to close the loop. On the screen, you will see some practical scripts which you can use for this shift. Initiating is not bad, but dominating the flow tells him that he doesn't need to show up. And that's not the kind of man we are looking for. The second pattern that women struggle with is that you stay in work mode on dates. So even though you're technically off work, your energy hasn't clocked out. You arrive with that sharp, focused, what's the agenda energy? You evaluate, you analyze, you interview. But connection doesn't come from efficiency. It comes from emotional availability. So how can you shift to that? Before going on a date, you can have a 15-minute softening ritual. Light a candle, change clothes, prance around in front of the mirror, listen to a calming playlist, or just dance around and move your body. Embrace your femininity. When you get to the date, set up a no work zone. Say that let's not talk about work for the first 30 minutes. Try to ask feeling first questions like, what's the thing that you do that brings you the most joy? Or when was the last time you laughed so hard that your belly hurt? Or what's your biggest fear? These are questions that will help you connect emotionally. Flirting is not a skill. It's the result of presence and playfulness, not performance. On the screen, you will see some practical scripts that you can use to get out of your work zone. The third pattern that women struggle with is you don't let him take care of you. The trap of independence. You have worked so hard to not need anyone. But what if that is the exact reason nobody stays? You pay your half, you use Uber instead of accepting the ride, you reject help because you've been taught needing is equal to weak. But for a man who wants to provide emotionally or otherwise, your self sufficiency can come off as emotional rejection. Also, being able to help you is a privilege, it's not a burden. So, how can you make that shift? Say yes to the small things. Can I walk you to your car? Yes. Can I open the door for you? Yes. Can I carry that for you? Hell yes. Make space for him to solve. And when he does things that bring you joy, don't dilute it. Let him see you light up. On the screen, you will see some practical scripts that you can use to share your joy. Receiving builds connection, and receiving well, that's confidence, not dependence. Now, the fourth pattern women struggle with is they hide behind being nice instead of being honest, especially when they don't agree or when they don't like something. I don't mean oversharing, but sharing what's real and important. For example, you may say it's fine when you're disappointed. You brush it off when he cancels. You ghost instead of saying this is not working for me because you are afraid that your honesty will push him away. But withholding it guarantees you a horrible relationship. Is that what you're looking for? I'm sure that's no. So, how can you fix that? If you ever want to bring up an uncomfortable conversation, use the I strategy. For example, you could say, I felt a little unseen when you rescheduled in the last minute. And be very clear and kind. I like you and I want to see consistency from someone I'm dating. Do not fake agreement. Because the truth is, in the long term, you want somebody with whom you can share your emotions, with whom you can have uncomfortable conversations. And if having those conversations is going to push somebody away, they're not deserving of you. On the screen, you can see some scripts which you can use when you want to bring something that's uncomfortable. I want you to remember that your emotions are not a burden. They are an invitation to deeper intimacy. So now let's go into the fifth pattern. You overfunction and then you resent him. This is a cycle many women are stuck in. You do everything and then you wonder why he does nothing. You planned the last 3 dates. You suggested the check in call. You asked, are you okay or do you want to speak? And then you feel disappointed as to why he's not showing up. But the truth is, you have made it too easy for him to underfunction. So what's the shift? Say no when you're tired. For example, I would love to see you, but I'm on low energy today. Shall we plan sometime next week? Let him experience natural consequence. Do not chase or fill the space if he flicks. Let him come back on his own. Ask for contribution. Like, I would love it if you choose the restaurant this time. On the screen, I have put some practical scripts that you can use. Men rise in the space your boundaries create. If you are doing everything, they have nowhere to step in. And the last pattern I see working women struggle with in relationships is that they are afraid to flirt, play, or be soft. But I want to remind you, flirting is not a trick. It's your natural magnetism when you stop overthinking and embrace your femininity. You're scared of seeming silly. You respond to compliments with a deflection. You don't know how to just enjoy because you are so used to earning everything. But your energy is magnetic. The feminine energy is light, expressive, and joyful, not only deep and smart. So, how can you shift? When complimented, accept it with grace. Say thank you, or even I needed to hear it today. And give back the playful energy. Use touch, eye contact, and warmth. Lean in, gaze, smile, not to impress, but to express. Flirting is not manipulation. It's your permission to be felt, not just to be understood. On the screen, I have some practical scripts that you can use. So, what actually makes a woman unattractive in love? It's not her looks, it's not her intelligence. It's the energy that says, I don't need you, I don't trust you, I don't have space for you. And that's what we will change. Receive instead of fix, express instead of suppress, rest instead of overwork, connect instead of perform. Pick one shift from today and notice what shifts in how men respond. And more importantly, how you feel. Drop a comment on what pattern hit you the most and do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You don't need to be less, you just need to be more you. See you soon, ladies.